Hello, very dear and kind people. Once again, I will take you to the Sakar Mountains so that we can become acquainted with the dolmen in the Nachovi Chairi area near the village of Hlyabovo. Yes, a long time has passed since my visit there, but the images we saw have not faded, and the emotions we experienced remain just as strong. This time, I will tell you about one of the largest dolmens discovered in Bulgaria, the one located in the Nachovi Chairi area near Hlyabovo. It was also the first site we visited during our unforgettable trip to the Sakar Mountains. There is no doubt that the Sakar Mountains are famous for their numerous dolmens, megalithic necropolises from ancient times. While preparing for our trip and planning the places we wanted to visit, I came to the conclusion that going on an excursion to Sakar and not seeing a dolmen would be like going to Rome and not seeing the Pope. That is why I told myself that we simply had to visit at least one dolmen. Fate, of course, helped us, as did the many questions we asked. As a result, local people directed us to one of the largest, best preserved, and most easily accessible dolmens near the village of Hlyabovo. The dolmen in the nearby Nachovi Chairi area. The dolmen is located about 2 kilometers from Hlyabovo on the road toward the village of Bulgarska Polyana. There is a parking area and a short trail leading to the site. If you are traveling from Hlyabovo toward Bulgarska Polyana, the parking area is on the left side of the road, and the trail begins downhill from there. There is a small sign marking the location. Dolmens are megalithic structures built from several upright stone slabs covered by another large stone slab, forming a chamber. They are dated to the Bronze Age and the Early Iron Age. Their construction is associated with ancient religious beliefs and rituals, and they were often used for burials. Dolmens are found throughout Europe, Asia, and Africa. Hundreds of dolmens have been discovered on the territory of Bulgaria, preserved to varying degrees. The highest concentration is found in the Sakar Mountains, Stranja Mountains, and the eastern Rhodopes. More than 600 dolmens have been identified in the Sakar Mountains alone. The village of Hlyabovo is among the places in Bulgaria with the highest concentration of dolmens, and one of the largest and best. Studied among them is the dolmen in the Nachovi Chairi area. This dolmen consists of 2 chambers, a large one and a small one. Traces of a burial ritual and parts of a skeleton were discovered in the smaller chamber. Among the finds were a bronze ring, fragments of a bronze bracelet, parts of earrings, and pottery. The dolmen was originally covered by an earthen mound. First of all, I must say that I was excited when I saw the dolmen. There was no surprise, since I already knew what to expect from my preparations and the materials I had read. My excitement stemmed from 2 facts. My expectations matched reality. In other words, I saw exactly what I had anticipated. Contact with something so ancient always fills me with awe, excitement, and pride. We examined the dolmen from every angle. At times, I crouched, stood up, and knelt down. I wanted to inspect it from every possible perspective and remember it well. I am neither a historian nor an archaeologist, so I do not attempt to give an expert opinion on its historical value. However, that does not stop me from being moved by encounters with antiquity. Like everyone else, I wonder about their origin, their purpose, and who built them. Therefore, I consulted the director of the Municipal Historical Museum in Topolovgrad, Veselin Kalvachev, who has his own theory regarding their origin. He claims that these were energy centers. According to him, our ancestors erected them here because of the enormous granite pluton deposits and especially because of the quartz veins, which emit thermal energy. The Nachovi Chairi dolmen has a large and a small chamber. It is believed that the smaller chamber was used for burial rituals, while people gathered in the remaining parts of the site for ceremonies, meditation, or observations of celestial bodies. The location served as a center of social and spiritual life. Archaeologists who study dolmens describe them as the earliest monumental buildings and believe they served as Thracian tombs, Kalvachev says. In his opinion, the Thracians did use some of them as burial chambers, but only at a later stage. Before that, the dolmens were most likely used for meditation and astronomical observations. The most widespread theory is that the dolmens in Sakar date from the 12th to the 6th century BC. In fact, the artifacts discovered inside them from Thracian burials date from that period. However, whether the structures themselves were built then or much earlier by an older civilization is something nobody can say with certainty, according to my interlocutor. Long ago, people believed that dragons lived within them, embodying masculine strength. In Sakar, there are many songs and legends about dragons with golden wings abducting maidens and dwelling in these stone houses. Immediately, theories about reptilians and genetic engineering crossed my mind. According to one local belief, dolmens possess healing powers. Women who were unable to conceive would pass through the openings in the stone structures in the hope of bearing a child. The stone slabs weigh several tons and were arranged with a skill that still seems almost impossible for human hands. Their construction remains a mystery to this day. People in the past, Veselin Kalvachev believes, could sense the Earth's energy and understood the power of the cosmos. They recognized the natural properties of granite and quartz and used them. In these megalithic structures, our ancestors meditated, sought healing, and searched for a connection with the gods. These are extraordinarily ancient and unexplained constructions that possess great and beneficial power. After thoroughly examining the dolmen, we took a walk around the area. There were so many massive stones nearby. Who knows, we thought. Perhaps some of them are megaliths as well. Afterward, we headed toward the Thracian fortress and sanctuary of Paleocastro. In conclusion, I can only say that the dolmen in the Nachovi Chairi area near Hlyabovo is an absolute must-see if you find yourself in this part of the Sakar Mountains.